Welcome to the Orange Twist, your 10-minute shot of insight to shake up your thinking on leadership, culture, and change. Hosted by Giovanna D'Alessio, Master Certified Coach. Episode 7, The Two Loops of Transformation. Today we talk about change, real change, the kind that doesn't announce itself in a strategy slide or a LinkedIn post. The kind that begins quietly, in tension, in confusion, in something not quite working anymore. Maybe it starts as a question that you can't unask, a misalignment you can no longer ignore, a team that's ticking all the boxes but somehow losing its spark. A part of you that feels, I can't keep doing it this way. Change, when it's real, it's rarely convenient and never linear. There's a model that I keep returning to when I work with leaders and teams in the thick of transition. It's called the Two Loops model, introduced by Margaret Wheatley and friends at the Berkana Institute. It's beautifully simple and also profoundly accurate. Imagine two loops drawn like a sideways figure 8. The first loop is descending, the dominant system, the current structure. It had its peak. It's done good work, but now it's declining. The second loop is rising, the emerging future, still forming, still fragile. And this isn't just a diagram, it's a living map of how transformation unfolds in nature, in society, in organizations, in us. Let's start with the first loop, the system that we know. It could be a team, a leadership style, a culture, a way of working, and it has rules, language, logic. It offers predictability, identity, status, efficiency. But slowly it starts to stagnate, and signs of decay begins to show. Performance drops, energy contracts, and blame surfaces. People sense that something's off, but can't name what. And here's the kicker. We usually try to fix the whole system using the same thinking that built it. Tighten control, add metrics, hire consultants. Reorganize the deck chairs on the Titanic, to be honest. But underneath the surface, something else is happening in the shadows, at the margins. The second loop is quietly forming. It doesn't look impressive. It often starts with a conversation that feels different, or a new question, a bold what if. So someone breaking a pattern, not to rebel, but to listen more deeply. And this loop lives in the language of emergence. Experiment, curiosity, tinkering, trust. It doesn't scale yet because it's not ready to. It needs space, time, protection. And here's where it gets really interesting. Between the loops is a critical threshold, a liminal space. Neither here nor there. The old doesn't work, the new is unstable. So this is where transformation becomes really spiritual, because you can't manage your way through it. You can only presence your way through. Let me round this with an example. Imagine an organization that's always prided itself on excellence and precision. Processes are tight, delivery is sharp, but people are exhausted. Creativity has dried up. Fear runs high. So the first loop is still functioning, but barely. Meanwhile, in one small department, a few team members start doing things differently. They open meetings with check-ins. They give space for silence, reflection, and honest disagreement. They question what excellence really means. It's not a revolution. It's a quiet rewaving of how work is done. They're not fixing the old. They're birthing the new. And you can feel it. The second loop is alive. So the question becomes, where are you in this picture? Let me offer some roles that often show up in the two loops. One is the stewards of the old, those who maintain what's still working, helping it decline with dignity. Or the disruptors, so those who challenge the status quo, often impassioned, often dismissed, but necessary. Others are the auspice workers, those who hold space for the end of an era with respect and grief. The pioneers, those experimenting at the edge, building new ways before they're even recognized. Or even the bridge builders, those who translate between the two loops, fluent in both worlds. All roles matter. But trouble begins when we confuse them. When pioneers are forced to justify their experiments using the logic of the old system. Or when disruptors burn out from pushing too hard, too fast. Or when hospice is rushed. When the emerging is ignored. So, how do we navigate this terrain? Here are a few practices that I offer in my coaching and consulting work. First of all, let go consciously. We often treat letting go as a failure, but what if it's a skill, a leadership act? So ask yourself, what am I holding on to that no longer serves? What part of me is afraid to release it? What needs to be honored because it can be released? The second one is notice what's emerging. Where are new patterns already showing up? What's alive in your team, even if it's small, even if it's fragile? Don't wait for it to be perfect. Tend to it now. And third, cultivate liminal literacy. So learn to stay in the space between. When answers are unclear, when identity is shifting, the temptation is to rush, to resolve, to reframe, to go back to normal. But this is the compost of transformation. Stay with it. Fourth, map the loops together. Draw them with your team. Ask, what's declining in our system? What's emerging that deserves more support? And what might we need to mourn? What might we need to protect? 5, build relational muscle. No one rides the loops alone. We need honest, attuned conversations. We need people who can hold space without fixing. We need courage, not certainty. And finally, trust that life knows how to renew itself. Just like in nature, forests regrow, rivers reroot, seeds sprout in cracked concrete. Our organizations, our teams, we know how to begin again. If we make space, if we listen deeply, if we act when the moment calls. So let me ask you again, where are you on the loop? What role are you called out to play now? And what part of the future is already whispering to you, waiting to be followed? Until next time, I'm Giovanna D'Alessio, and this is The Orange Twist. If this episode stirs something in you, subscribe to The Orange Twist, your weekly shot of insight on leadership, culture, and change, served with a twist. So join me next time for another fresh pour of perspective.